The movie Alien is a sci-fi horror film that conceals a much larger narrative than the final film portrays. There's a wealth of stories and material hidden within Alien, much more than what is seen in the final 1979 film. The final film is essentially just one version of the Alien movie's subject matter. Another version of the Alien movie is the director's cut released in 2003. The story is the same as before, but with slightly different scenes and shots. Ridley Scott has shot a considerable amount of material for the Alien movie. There have often been at least 2 cameras on set, and multiple takes of scenes have been shot. Additionally, there are many scenes that were filmed but did not make it into the final movie version. There are also scenes that were partially filmed. There are also scenes that were supposed to be filmed but were left unshot, often due to budget constraints. Furthermore, there are plenty of scenes that have changed or been removed as the film's structure evolved during production. This creates a treasure chest for all Alien movie fans, as there is leftover material from the shoots, although this material is relatively rare. It's also interesting to note that several deleted scenes somehow appear in other Alien franchise movies. Both the original 1979 theatrical version and the director's cut version made afterward differ in various scenes. The latter is not the original version with added new previously unseen scenes. It is a completely re-edited Alien movie, roughly the same length as the original theatrical version. So, if you have only seen the director's cut version, it's worth watching the original version as well because it contains scenes that are not in the director's cut version. In this complete edition Alien video that is being shown now, the video shows all the scenes in their original order. All scenes from the final film, deleted scenes, and concept scenes are included. The video always shows an extended version of scenes from the final film or versions shot from different angles if one is available. Concept scenes and other scenes for which no video material is available are presented with storyboards, production pictures, comic book images, and other media reconstructions. This video content mainly consists of the 1979 and 2003 Alien movies, as well as the final version screenplay from 1978, which was used in the original movie. Additionally, the content of the video has been sourced from the novel of the same name written by Alan Dean Foster in 1979, the Book of Alien by Michael Gross and Paul Scanlon written in 2004, the Fantastic Films magazine from 1979, Ridley Scott's storyboards, Alien, the illustrated story, 1979, and the original screenplay written by Dan O'Bannon in 1976. All this material builds the story of Alien as a whole. In this video, numerous deleted scenes have also been included, which were significant in the production of the film. This video covers the entire backstory and material of the Alien movie, to the extent that information and material have been available. 1. The film begins with an introduction to the Nostromo spacecraft. The intention was to inform the audience about the environment in which the events of the movie take place. Therefore, the beginning was originally intended to be longer than in the movie versions, with the idea of showing the exterior of the spacecraft Nostromo more thoroughly. Additionally, the aim was to display the scale of the ship. In the final movie versions, understandably, this fails because within the dynamics and duration of the film, the Nostromo cannot be showcased for long. Nostromo is a large ship, much larger than the viewer can understand while watching the movie. For many viewers, the structure of the ship may possibly remain somewhat unclear. In reality, the Nostromo is a separate vessel that hauls cargo, like a truck. All scenes shown on the ship take place inside the Nostromo, not within the towed refinery. In the final screenplay, the movie starts in the engine room of a spaceship, unlike the movie. 2. The movie quickly introduces the structure by showing corridors, A, B, and C decks. The ship has 3 levels, each serving its own functionality. A deck contains the galley, bridge, infirmary, hypersleep chamber, and mother interface. B deck contains equipment and provides access to the shuttles and the main airlock. C deck is mainly used for equipment storage and contains the landing struts when retracted. It also houses Ash's observation blister, as well as Brett and Parker's engineering station, which includes the auto-destruct console. C deck also allows access to the ship's machinery and structures. Most of the ship's events take place on the A deck. 3. According to Ridley Scott's original idea, when presenting the corridors of the Nostromo's A, B, and C decks, flying small robots were supposed to be introduced, which would move around different corridors and maintain the ship's functions. However, Ridley Scott's idea of these robots, dubbed flying mice, proved to be too expensive to film, and they too closely resembled the corridor drones from the 1977 film Star Wars. Additionally, the production company did not want the movie to appear too much like a typical sci-fi film. As a result, these scenes were never filmed. 4. Toy Birds items. Ridley Scott wanted the toy birds appearing on the table in the crew room to tell their own sub-story about the course of the film by appearing in a different part of the film. In the final movie, the toy birds appear on the lounge table, but they don't get much attention. 5. A mysterious unknown signal interrupts Nostromo's journey and awakens the crew. 6. The awakening scene. The original intention was to depict the crew naked, each waking up in turn, as presented in the final screenplay. According to the screenplay, the lids of the cryo tubes were also supposed to open at different rates for each person, unlike in the final film. First to wake and rise is Kane, as in the movie, followed by Lambert. Next are Dallas and Ash. Parker and Brett wake up simultaneously, and Ripley wakes up last. Ripley eventually also takes Jones the cat. According to Ridley Scott, the entire scene was first filmed with the crew completely naked. But to avoid restrictions due to nudity, the scene was eventually filmed with the crew wearing underwear and the women wearing a thin white string covering their nipples. In the end, only Kane's awakening made it into the final film, with the others remaining in their cryo tubes. The reason for the exclusion of the entire scene was the depiction of nudity, which was causing restrictions on the film's presentation. 7. The scene of Kane making breakfast. This scene is a continuation of the awakening scene. It is likely that this scene would have been edited to include the other crew members getting out of their cryo tubes. The awakening of different individuals one by one was a cinematic way to introduce each character to the audience individually. The scene also involved brief dialogues as Kane prepares breakfast. In the final screenplay, Lambert joins Kane for breakfast and takes coffee made by him. Ridley Scott originally planned the scene so that Kane observes the other crew members in the hypersleep chamber via a monitor while making breakfast. While doing this, he watches the monitor, hearing the sound of the cryo tubes opening one by one, guessing who's who and who's next. Ridley Scott designed the scene to begin with a shot of Kane's nostril, followed by the cryo tube opening and Kane heading towards the lounge. In the novel, chambers are filled with a viscous liquid that the crew have to wipe off when they wake. In addition, Nostromo's central computer, Mother, alerts Dallas when she wakes him up already in the cryo tube with a flashing light.
Rise and shine, Lambert.
What time is it?
What do you care? Dallas. Ash. Morning, Captain.
Where's the coffee?
Oh, it's brewing. Ripley. Oh, Ripley, don't forget the cat this time. Parker. If we have Parker, can Brett be far behind?
Right.
Thought so.
8. The breakfast scene. In the final film, the introduction of the crew takes place during the meal, although there is no separate introduction. That's because it was meant to be done in the wake-up scene, which was cut out of the movie. The scene highlights the crew's bonus question theme. This theme recurs throughout the film, especially later when the research team investigates LV-426. The bonus question theme is not dealt with in detail in the film, although it has a central weight related to the crew's motivation in several parts of the film. 9. Continuing from the breakfast scene, the Nostromo's artificial intelligence computer, MUTHUR 6000, is also introduced. In the movie, computer is referred to as Mother when Dallas goes to get information about the unknown signal and the interruption of the journey. Ridley Scott originally planned the part where Dallas can't remember his own personal code that he could use to activate Mother computer. Ash comes to help Dallas remember the code. 10. Ridley Scott designed a short scene where the Nostromo amplifies its radio signal to determine its location. In the scene from Nostromo, the dish-shaped antenna would open up like a flower. In the movie Alien Covenant 2017, a scene with the same effect is seen. 11. After the breakfast scene, Ridley Scott's intention was to shoot the scene where Parker and Brett come from the Nostromo ship out of a hatch on a small Pedalo repair craft, flying into the inspection hatch to repair the ship's valves. During the repair, Parker notices that one of the seals is broken, which eventually causes problems landing on LV-426. Ron Cobb designed the small craft Parker and Brett were to use, which was later dubbed the Flying Bedstead. The scene didn't fit into the film's budget, so it was never shot. The scene was an important part of the film and plot. It would have brought an explanation to the ship's problems after the landing. For Ridley Scott, the scene was very important also because of the presentation of measurement objects. The scene would have shown the audience how big the ship Nostromo is. 12. The crew themselves notice that traveling has stopped and gather to hear the matter in the lounge. Dallas informed about it. Dallas says that Mother has received an unknown message, and because of that, the traveling has stopped. Parker questions the stranger's message and investigating it, to which Ash and Dallas remind everyone of their contractual obligations to investigate. In the final screenplay, Parker and Brett are in the engine room drinking beer when Dallas tells everyone to gather in the lounge. There is no material available for this scene. 13. Most of the crew gathers to listen to the alien message and decide to send to investigate the origin of the message. In the original film version, there is no scene of listening to the message at all. However, it has been fully filmed. The director's cut version had the scene in its entirety, but the unknown message was muted. The whole scene in the original message with the voice.
We all hear that, Lambert?
Good God. Doesn't sound like any radio signal I've heard.
Maybe it's a voice.
Well, we'll soon know. Can you hone in on that?
What was the position?
6550-99.
All right, I found the quadrant. Ascension, 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Declination, 39 degrees, 2 seconds.
Okay, put that on the screen for me.
All right, well, that's it. It's a planetoid. 1,200 kilometers.
It's tiny. Any rotation?
About 2 hours.
What about gravity?
0.86.
You can walk on it.
Equatorial orbit nailed.
9. 8 seconds on descension.
Bridge energized, feels
5.